One swing for all. I mean, that doesn't make sense to start with, does it? We're all different, aren't we? We've got different styles, different personalities, different body shapes, and different levels of flexibility, with the obvious splash of talent thrown into the pot. When you see a top-class footballer or golfer or tennis player, or a top skier racing down a mountain, you instantly recognise who that person is from the way they move, their body shape, and their individual style. But they all have one thing in common.
Beckham could raise the roof here with a goal. I don't believe it. David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
Yep, the basics are rock solid. And the better the basics at every level, the better you are. That goes for your profession, my profession, so why should your golf swing be any different? I mean, I've done this my whole life, and believe me, this is the only golf swing you'll ever need to learn. That's a big statement, isn't it? The only swing you'll ever need to learn. But it's actually going to be your swing. You know, the one that fits you. And no cheap shots, no quick fixes, or promises you'll bend it like Beckham. And don't just switch off now you've heard it's a video on the basics, because I know what you're thinking. You've heard it all before, right? Trust me on this one, this is a real game changer. So the question is, why am I doing all this? Is it for subscribers or likes? I mean, that's a joke, isn't it? No. You know, I've just had enough of all this complicated stuff that's peddled everywhere. Rotations, angles, spin numbers, swing drills. I mean, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. I'm going to show you how a rock-solid swing works, how it feels, how you can build it yourself with your own two hands. Now, these baskets and these sticks, they don't hurt, they don't bite. You'll be armed with instant feedback of a cost of next to nothing. And depending on how much time and effort you invest, with the obvious decent splash of talent thrown into the pot, you can take this right up to tour level. Does it sound interesting? And it's not complicated. I mean, you can put your hula hoop down for a minute. Now it's a 3-step process. Swing direction, alignment and control of the club face, and then we'll get your body involved. Now once the basics are in place, there are some really effective and very doable techniques at the end of the 3-step process that increase club head speed, will give you a sharper and more consistent angle of attack, you know, and are guaranteed to blow the socks off all your spin numbers or your face to path angles. And last but not least, don't forget your smash factor. And again, you'll be controlled by these things. That's right, these things that cost you next to nothing will guide you and control you and hold your hand through the process. Now your body will be programmed with all the good stuff, so then you'll be free to instinctively react to the target. Now I'll teach you how to read the ball flight and how to work back then to your swing. So without a target, you've got nothing to learn. Hey you lot, do you remember how these controls work? Yeah. Are you sure? Kinda, yeah. Right then, there's one for you. One for you, 2 for you, look at that, brilliant, good catch. There you are mate, right, let's get them set up, come on. 1, 2, 3, go. Go. And you know, it's no more difficult than throwing a ball or kicking a ball. You know, I totally get it, you know, I totally understand the situation. You know, some people can kick it and throw it better than others. But it doesn't mean you can't. Now you're going to learn how you can naturally turn and move, and how you can instinctively react to the target. There you go, said it again. Because often using our natural instincts gets overlooked in golf, because we're always getting ourselves wrapped up in this lot.
Everybody know I'm a visual. Yeah, I kill it cold like a criminal. I'm everybody's type, but nobody can deny. Cause you know I get it, I'm getting freaky, yeah, I'ma bring the crazy. Get that freaky, freaky on, get that freaky, freaky on. Getting freaky, get it right, get that freaky, freaky on. 챙겨 끄고다가 getting freaky, yeah, I'ma bring the crazy. Get that freaky, freaky on, get that freaky, freaky on. Getting freaky, get it right, 상관하지 마.
Why would you want to get dragged into a fight with complicated swing mechanics anyway? It's like throwing a ball whilst you're thinking about your shoulder and your hand and your elbow and you've got no chance. Before we even get started with the process, you've got to make sure that you fully understand how you align correctly in relation to the target. Yep, this is the boring stuff that nobody likes to talk about or hear about, but it's nearly everything you'll need. But if you're not interested, you can switch off now, because you're wasting your time, you're wasting my time. And if you need more information, then check out this video. Here, that one, there, or is it down there? And don't think this is anything new or special. I mean, this is my 1-year-old son. And look at how a child instinctively aims left, giving himself space to swing out to the right at the target. Smash it. Hey! 1, 2, 3, go. Hey, good lad, that's it. It's a cracker. Hey, it's easy. I mean, this is the classic that you get the guy who's aiming up the right hand side like this, got a nice strong grip, ball position back in his stance, and what he's trying to do is pull the ball back into the middle of the fairway. Now, you might get the odd good one out there, but you're losing massive amounts of club head speed and control. And one day you'll find your weakest link and you'll blow either your back or your knee out. Now, in any athletic sport, whether it be football, tennis or martial arts like karate, they all look dynamic, fast, explosive, and golf is no exception. But you've got to start somewhere. You can't just throw your body into a dynamic movement without the correct dose of preparation first. And again, this is a big statement on my part, but as an amateur club golfer, this is the only swing you'll ever need to learn and develop to fit you. You know, and if you disagree, then please let me know why. I'd love to know. Now, in this video, I'm going to firstly tackle swing direction. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the first thing and the backbone of the movement is the swing direction. If you're swinging in the wrong direction in relation to the target, then it doesn't really matter where the club face is aiming, does it? And your body will be blocked anyway. Now, the swing direction is the boss of the swing, the boss of the movement. No different to that of tennis or throwing a ball or any other target orientated movement or sport for that matter. So how is the golf swing directed? It's directed in relation to the target and not around the body like some of these rotary guys might be trying to sell you, because the club head is not going to be staying with the ball very long through the hitting area if you're doing this. I mean, you'd never play tennis or throw a ball like this, would you? You're going to need exceptional timing reserved for the very few gifted enough to have any kind of consistency. And another thing, all this bigger muscles take control stuff. What actually controls the club head? Is it the motion of your hands and arms which in turn pulls the body with it? Or does your back and your bigger muscle groups control the club head? Because under pressure they get less twitchy, surely. Now, I'll tell you now, if you went for a knee operation and the guy doing the job said he was going to cut you open by controlling his hand and arm with his back or his shoulder, I guarantee you'd run a 4-minute mile. I'm getting freaky, yeah, I'ma bring the crazy. Get that freaky, freaky on. And you never swing back and forth on the target line either. That's another classic, because your hands and arms are just going to disconnect away from your body, flapping around all over the place. This is bending towards the stack and tilt style of teaching, whereby your hands and arms move on a steeper swing plane than your body rotation. I mean, you'd never play tennis or throw a ball like this, would you? And whoa, steady on here a minute. I'm not saying that the rotary swing or the stack and tilt swing are both wrong and both crap. Not for 1 minute. Especially when they are directed and reacting to the target.
Back low. It may not look like it, but I'm trying to hit it as hard as I physically can. Not on every drive, but most of them. Always try and get the club going back.
There have been 22 aces in the history of Augusta. This is Tommy Fleetwood.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. Depending on your build, your style and how your body moves will naturally dictate which group you fall into, either a rotary or a stack and tilt style of swing. It's not something you can choose or learn. It's what comes out as you learn to develop the basic movements. Don't fight it. You'll never want to be somebody you're not. The golf swing is a rotation directed at the target, no different than throwing a ball, tennis, or most other target-orientated sports. So what I want you to do is to isolate the hand and arm motion as best you can by simply putting your feet together. Now this takes the body out of the equation. The two benefits of playing shots with your feet together are, now you're simplifying things by taking the body out of the equation. There is no longer room for manipulation by throwing your hips or your legs into the movement to artificially correct a swing fault. This can lead to terrible inconsistency and erratic shots on the golf course, and you won't know why. So the second benefit of having your feet together is that you can no longer cheat and artificially correct or build your swing. This gives you instant feedback and a heightened sense of feel of the control of the club head and swing direction. Now if you don't believe me, then try it. You may find that you struggle to even hit the ball and your point of impact is all over the place. If your swing is poorly directed in relation to the target, then you'll lose your balance. Now if you get too flat and behind yourself in your backswing, you'll feel your body weight forced back onto your heels. Now if you get too steep and disconnected with your hands and arms moving out and away from yourself, you'll feel your body weight forced onto your toes. Ideally, your body weight should start on the balls of your feet and should remain there throughout your backswing. Now the ideal place to swing the club head at the halfway point is into your natural centre of gravity point or weight line that runs from the base of your neck down and through the balls of your feet. Now simply because that's your body's natural balancing point. Now don't get obsessed with this, it's just a point of reference and everybody is slightly different. Now from here, just let your hands and arms work back around your body. Don't rush it because that's one of the biggest backswing killers, to snatch or flash at it at the top of the backswing and into your downswing. If you get too quick, then the chances are that your hands and arms will disconnect from your body movements, leaving you open to a world of pain and complicated compensations that rarely work under pressure. And don't think too much about it, fretting over whether your club head is here or here. Within a certain range, it doesn't really matter until it starts to affect your balance. You'll start to gain a feeling of a well-balanced position that fits you. Some people will be flatter or steeper or more inside or more outside than the next man, due to build, arm length, style and flexibility. But that's okay, be yourself and stop trying to be the golfer you're not. You'll have to, mate, I'm so sorry, I know. Oh, you've got to. I've got to do some videoing. You've got to go down with your mum. Hey, come on. Ah, that's stuck on me, Mike. Come on. Hey! Right, come on, you've got to. You've got him. Come on, you've got to. Now, as we move into the downswing, something which really helps me to get my point across and explain how your body reacts and turns and moves is to relate it back to other sports or movements such as throwing a ball or playing tennis. Now, when you're throwing a ball, the ball hand starts on the ball to target line. As you start back, the ball hand follows a natural rotation of your upper body and your hand gets pulled around in a position back behind your body. Now from here, the ball hand has to head off initially back over to the right to get back to the target line. When it hits the target line, the natural rotation of your body and hand pull the ball onto the target line. The ball hand remains on the target line even after you've released the ball for the maximum amount of time until the body pulls the hand and arm inside with the natural rotation. So when playing a standard forehand shot in tennis, the racket starts on the ball to target line. Now as you start back, the racket follows a natural rotation of your upper body and your hand and arm and racket gets pulled around in a position back behind your body. Now from here, your racket has to head off initially back over to the right to get back to the target line. When it hits the target line, the natural rotation of your body and hand pull the racket onto the target line. The racket remains on the target line even after you've hit the ball for the maximum amount of time until the body pulls the hand and arm and racket inside with the natural rotation. So why does golf have to be any different? So when playing a standard golf shot, the club head starts on the ball to target line. As you start back, the club head follows a natural rotation of your upper body and your hands and arms and club head gets pulled around in a position back behind your body. Now from here, your club head has to head off initially back over to the right from the inside to get back to the target line. So when it hits the target line, the natural rotation of your body and hands and arms pull the club head onto the target line. The club head remains on the target line even after you've hit the ball for the maximum amount of time until the body pulls the hands and arms and club head inside with the natural rotation. You know, and this is the kind of thing I struggle with. When somebody comes along and they say they want to try the rotary swing, the stack and tilt swing, the A swing, the B swing, the upswing, the downswing, they want to use the ground more. I mean, this is it. This is as difficult as it gets. That is the correct swing direction. It's a rotation directed at a target. It's as simple as that. So start to let go of all this in, out, in, quick fix stuff that we've all been brainwashed with. When the swing direction is correct, the club head remains with the ball for the maximum possible time, making it easy to time the shot. The correct swing direction naturally pulls your body into the correct position, so you no longer need to think about where your hips, where your shoulders, where your elbows are. The swing direction is the backbone of the movement, the boss of the swing. And here goes the massive bonus. You're going to be guided and controlled every step of the way. Now every great player has a coach, a caddy, a system in place when they practice. They don't just rock up and smash balls on the range, because if you do that, the chances are you'll be practicing a swing fault. Now if your practice is not targeted or controlled, then you could drink a whiskey, a nice cool beer, a glass of wine, smoke a cigar, and just rock up to the first tee. I mean, that can really help. So now I'm going to run you through how to set up the controls. Now I use 2 golf clubs because the club head cups the basket better, and that's what I'm used to. But you can use 2 sticks if you want to, 2 baskets, or 2 golf club head covers. Pick a target, let's say the flag. Put a tee in the ground on the ball to target line. Run a golf club from the tee aiming directly at the target. Place a ball at the club head end on the ball to target line. Take a second golf club and run it parallel to the ball to target line. Positioned in relation to the tee and target, 1/3 of the club length at the target side and 2/3 of the length to the right of the tee away from the target. Drag the club back that is on the ball to target line so that the grip ends meet. Put a ball on the tee. Place a basket between the clubs, cupped by the club heads. Now place a second basket 1 ball width outside of the ball on the tee and position it approximately where your right foot would be when you address the ball with your feet shoulder width apart. Now push a tee into the ground around 15 centimeters behind and half a ball inside the ball on the tee.
Feel my heart, it's beating. All my body's breathing. It's just you and me.
Now before you even start to swing, relax, no tension, and ensure that you can feel the weight of the club head in your hands. As far as grip pressure goes, from 1 to 10, a 3 or a 4 is a good number. I mean, grip pressure is a lesson in itself. I mean, if you hold the club too lightly, there's also a tendency to grab at some stage during the swing. So try for a nice even 3 or a 4. Just enough pressure to have a firm enough grip on the handle and maintain this level of pressure throughout the swing. Align your feet, knees, hips and shoulders parallel to the first club on the ground to control your alignment as you set up to the ball. Now start the club head moving back over the guide tee just to get the swing started back on the right path, just inside of the basket. With nice relaxed shoulders, allow your hands and arms and the weight of the club head to naturally turn your upper body as your club moves in and around your body. Let the motion of the swing take your hands and arms and wrists along for the ride. Now try not to overthink anything, just ensure that your weight remains on the balls of your feet and you stay nice and balanced throughout. Now as you start down, follow the downswing guide club which is directed over to the right. Now your club head is now heading initially to the right as your club head starts back from a position behind your body and heads back towards the target to get back to the ball. Now swing out towards the right, follow the guide club on the ground and swing between the baskets and try not to hit one of them. They are there to guide and control your progress. Now as the club head is swung through the hitting area, you'll feel the club head pulled in and to the left as it follows the natural rotation of your upper body. Relax and go with it. I always recommend to aim the control slightly left of the target and to get the feeling of pushing the ball over to the right to the target. This is actually a natural thing we do until we get in our own way and start overthinking it. When we roll a ball, throw a ball, play tennis, and just look at how my 1-year-old son naturally plays a shot. I mean, I haven't taught him this, I didn't show him this. He uses his natural instincts, how he positions himself and how he swings from instinct alone. His stance is open and he swings to the right. And I know what you're thinking, how does this play out on the golf course? So all I want you to do is aim at the left edge of the green and swing out towards the target, out towards the right, out towards the flag. Now the advantage here is that you've just made your landing area and target bigger. If you were to aim directly at the flag in the middle of the green or directly in the middle of the fairway and you pull or push the shot slightly, then you could miss the green or miss the fairway. So if you aim at the left edge of the green and swing out to the right at the flag, then you've got the whole green to hit. Your bad shot is no longer that bad. And that's what golf is all about. Everybody can hit a good shot, but it's how bad your bad one is. Now I may as well be honest and straight up with you. A shot that starts left is a sign of a weak and blocked swing. Your club head cuts across the ball, across your body, requiring exceptional timing and control. You'll lose up to 70% of your power has gone, it's out the window, massive amounts of club head speed and control, and one day you'll find your weakest link and you'll blow your back out, blow your hips out, your shoulder will hurt, your elbow will hurt, your ankle will hurt. One day it'll hurt. Now the next lesson is a real cracker. I'm going to show you how to gain control over the club face and how the club face alignment should match up with your own individual body movements. So what do I mean by match up? Now if I just take Dustin Johnson as an example, because everybody's talking about him at the moment, he's all the rage. You've even got club members standing on the driving range trying to arch the left wrist at the top of the backswing, closing the club face because that's where they think the power comes from. But actually what Dustin Johnson does is initially he starts with a strong grip, which is going to close the club face at some point during the swing. In the backswing, he takes the club up, he arches his left wrist, he closes the club face further, but then what he does is he matches his backswing and downswing perfectly together. Because what he does in his downswing, he opens everything up. He fires his hips, his body is open, okay, so his backswing club face is closed. Now he's opening his body through impact with an exceptionally athletic and dynamic movement, which they say takes out any club face timing issues through impact. But it's still got to be well timed. And how the hell this kind of thing is sold to the average golfer is beyond me. That is, unless you have the flexibility and skill set of one of the best golfers in the world, then fine, go with it. You know, and I forgot to mention, you'll probably have to go to the gym once or twice a day. You know, and you have to watch what you eat. No cake for you. But going back just a few years, if Dustin Johnson went for a golf lesson as a kid, they'd say, whoa, steady on there, son. Your club face is way close at the top of the backswing. You'll never get the ball into the air. So all I'm trying to say is, look, golf, just like everything else, goes through fads and fashions of sorts. But this can be dangerous for you. I mean, as far as your golf swing goes, it's all just got to fit and work for you by using your own natural instincts and feelings until you own it. Now I'm going to show you a much simpler way of how to gain control over the club face and how to match everything up so it works consistently for you. Right, come on Leo, good swing. Last drive of the day. Cracking shot that, mate. He's busted it, absolutely nailed it. Well done, mate. Cracking shot, well done, mate. Perfect that. That's a long ball, that. Right, come on, Sevy, lad. Cracking shot, that, mate. Straight down the middle. Right, you're next, you know, aren't you? Hey? Shows how good you are. Want to miss me off, do you? Hey?
Maybe.
One more time.
Cracking shot, that. Oh my word. Oh, he's nailed it. Right, come on, good swing. Hey, that's a cracker, that. Look at that. Hey? Yeah, perfect.
I can feel it somewhere inside, haunting, like a drug I keep on wanting. There's a love that fits so perfect, it's hard to believe.